Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to True Myths, the show all about urban legends, conspiracies, the paranormal, all of the things that we don't fully understand. I'm your host, Anthony Manella, and today's first guest, first time on the podcast, Ryan Feeney.
Hey, if you're one of my students, go do your homework.
And then, of course, Austin Murphy.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, guys. So today, we're talking all about doppelgangers. So are you familiar with what a doppelganger is? I'm sure you've heard of them.
It's like your double.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You can think of it like a clone of yourself or someone else that you know. Do you guys believe in real-life doppelgangers? Because I'm going to be honest, this is one of the topics for me where I have a very hard time confidently saying, yeah, this is real.
Well, I would say I don't know if I necessarily believe in them in the real life, because like how are you gonna have somebody like that, just take over your body and be like this creepy twin double? But I know somebody with a doppelganger. So if you don't know who doppelganger is, look up Spider-Man's doppelganger. Just want to throw that out for y'all.
Okay, so that's not a real world example, but
That's what I'm here for.
Feeney, I take you don't believe in doppelgangers.
So not including like identical twins, right? So assuming you would know you have an identical twin.
Yes.
But it can't be someone who just looks like you.
Yeah, it has to be you.
Like exactly you.
And they're like sinister even too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, possibly like demonic in some way.
No, I don't. But there is, I'm going to nerd out for a second. There is an Edgar Allan Poe short story that sort of the idea of like the double or the doppelganger figures in. I don't remember the name of the short story. It might be William Wilson. That's the name of a character in the short story. And his double like kind of messes with him and like ruins his life. So
This sounds like a Culture 35 video. My doppelganger ruined my life.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All caps.
Yep.
Like, that's Edgar Allan Poe. That's what he should have called it. But
Not a visionary. Not a visionary.
yeah.
Imagine if all like classic writers and poets titled their stories like YouTubers.
Oh my god, it'd be
That would
awesome,
be so
bro.
clickbait. That would be so good.
My heart is in the floorboard.
Yeah.
Our light went out.
Oh,
Do we just continue?
We do just continue.
All right.
Sorry, guys, for people watching the video version. Our blue light is kind of broken. Sometimes it stays on, sometimes it doesn't, and I have no rhyme or reason for it. Can't explain it. This happens to be an episode where you're not gonna have the moonlight hitting us from behind, and
for that reason, I'm leaving.
What if I took a second to process that. What if like Romeo and Juliet was called like Young Dumb Love?
I think that would be I killed myself over my romantic partner.
That is what
Over
it'd
my
be.
like 13-year-old
Over,
girlfriend.
yeah. Well, I killed myself over the fact that I thought my girlfriend killed herself.
And then she then killed herself?
Yeah. Yeah, that's honestly a really funny concept. If we just go like rename like all of classic stories, that would be
Othello?
really funny.
I've actually never read Othello.
It's just like about the black guy in England.
Oh.
That's really probably what you named the video.
Okay, but yeah, so as far as doppelgangers goes, I don't necessarily believe, but that doesn't mean that these stories aren't cool or entertaining, and I know that there are a lot of people online that do genuinely believe, and for the sake of this, I will be willing to suspend disbelief for these stories. And if you have had a story where you claim that something like this has happened to you, like, I'm not gonna tell you your experience is false, right?
Maybe, I'm willing to admit that they think the story's real.
Right.
Right. Like
Yes.
they earnestly, genuinely maybe think this happened to them. So
All right, let's get started here. Story number 1. My late brother John and I were out all day taking care of paperwork, errands, and grabbing a lunch together. At 4 p.m, he dropped me off at my place, before beginning his 4-hour drive home to the southern Indiana town that he lived in at the time. Just minutes after he dropped me off at home, and before I went to the front door, I remembered that I forgot to ask him to bring me to the store 2 blocks over to pick something up for the night. But it was only 2 blocks, so I decided to walk. Halfway there, I passed a city bus stop and someone was standing there. I noticed this guy was wearing black jeans, a shirt, and a cowboy hat. A little odd, I thought, because cowboy hat wearers were very rare in that part of town. I assumed he must have been visiting someone, and I only looked at him from the corner of my eye, and I was directly across the street. So, I continued along the way, minding my own business. About 50 feet later, I saw him again as I looked behind me, crossing the street at a right angle and coming up behind me on the sidewalk, pacing some 50 feet behind me. I figured, well, as long as he stays back, I have nothing to worry about. He must have missed the bus or something. I get to a busy 4-lane intersection and cross at the crosswalk, and turn 90 degrees to complete my walk to the store. Halfway to the store, I notice the guy again, behind me, 50 feet and coming up fast. I completely turn around and look directly in his face. And to my shock, the guy looks like a spitting image of my brother John. So instinctively, I began to walk towards him, saying, "John, what the heck? Did your truck break down?" But I stopped dead cold in my tracks, thinking to myself, John was just in a red sweatshirt and blue jeans. How did he change clothing so fast? The figure did not say a greeting back, but continued to smile, ear to ear, and come at me fast up the sidewalk. My primal spiritual instincts kicked in as the most cold and dark chill raced down my spine. I spoke out a Wiccan spiritual protection chant and visualized a white force field of protection engulfing me. The figure comes to a dead stop 20 feet from me, face to face. It continued to grin and instantly darted across the 4-lane with rush hour traffic, darted in between the cars until it stepped on the sidewalk on the opposite side of the road, looked back at me face to face across the street, walked behind a tree, and didn't come out the other side. After 15 minutes of composing myself and finally reaching the store, I instantly whipped out my cell phone and called my brother John. "John, where are you?" About an hour outside of Indy. Why, what's up?" "I'll call you when you get home. Do me a favor and be extra careful driving on the highway." "I mean it. Something weird just happened. I'll tell you when you get home." And I did. Doppelgangers are very real, folks. And to this day, this minute, recalling this encounter still sends a cold chill down my spine. This happened in the spring of 2009. And that's the end of the story. Discuss.
I know there's some things we all want to roast, so I just have to get this out of the way before we do, because earlier in the story you said, this is why I looked at you, because you said this part of the town doesn't really have a lot of cowboy hats. That implies there is a part of the town where there's just a plethora of cowboy hats, and I just had to get that off my mind.
I mean, this was so Indiana, right? So
it could be. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's Indiana. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. I just thought it was so funny when you said that. You're like, this part doesn't have a lot of them. It's like, well, then the other part must have all of them.
I actually do think there's a reasonable explanation here. The doppelganger was just a lookalike of this person's brother named John. The doppelganger's name was John as well, right? So he was following the narrator. The narrator turns around, and then he said, "Oh, like, hey, like John, right?" And then imagine you see someone who, like, maybe they said like 20 feet away, right? Maybe you're like, "Oh, do I know this person? You know, let me smile, put my best face forward, right? Let me smile. Maybe I do know this person. I just don't really recognize where I know them from yet." But then as soon as this person whipped out the Wiccan spell or whatever, that's the scary part, right?
That is the scary
like if someone starts speaking in tongues to you on the street, or to me on the, like I'm turning the other direction and walking away, right?
Yeah.
Like this person knows my name. The stranger. Think of it from the doppelganger's perspective, right? Like you're walking up to a person, they know your name, and then they start speaking in tongues at you, right? I'm moving my. I'm moving my behind out of there as well.
Yeah, that is such a good way to look at the story.
Yeah.
You flipped the whole thing on its head. This thing is like, now this other guy is running to Reddit saying, "I met a doppelganger of my brother named blank."
Yeah, like how did this weird stranger know my name, and why did they start speaking at me like curses and like a Wiccan spirit thing?
Right.
It's craziness. That's a great way to put it, though. I totally can buy that.
Sorry, that part to me, though, when you bring that up, is a little funny to me because it sounds like something that happened in one of my videos where like something would be attacking me and I'd be like, don't worry, I know this spiritual chant off the top of my head where I can envision a force field and protect us. It's like, it's a little silly.
Yeah, they didn't do anything to set that up, right? They're just like, yeah, we're in Indiana. I see this guy walking down the street. He's a doppelganger. Wiccan chant. It's like, whoa, how you know that? Who taught you that?
Yeah, you just know this off the top of your head.
So strange.
He ends the story with, doppelgangers are very real, folks. When you put that in there, it makes me want to believe in them way less.
Yeah, way less.
Well, see, he needs you to believe that though for the rest of the story to hold up. It almost seems like this is like an argument he's making. Like he's trying to convince you that doppelgangers are real, and his evidence is this thing that happened. I totally, well, I don't believe that was a doppelganger, but I believe
the story might be real. Yeah.
Yeah, like I believe that it was probably just some random person whose name happened to be John. Yeah. And
I think the thing I hate the most about this story, maybe I don't hate it, but I mean, like, it just makes me sad as a human, is that this man really is perceived as a doppelganger exclusively because he's moving quickly, right? It just shows that as humans in society, we progress to a point where if you're moving quickly, you're just assumed to be dangerous. And what if I have to get somewhere fast?
It is a little interesting that this guy did decide to play Frogger in the middle of rush hour at a busy intersection. That part's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no matter how much of a rush you're in, I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, and that's not like a doppelganger thing. It's not like they're ghosts where they can just phase out in between the cars. Like, he's really got to do that.
You see, Austin, that's where you're wrong. It's a known thing that doppelgangers love to play Frogger in intersections. Okay?
He got me. How could I forget my doppelganger training?
Yeah, there's just some silly things about this story, but I could see it being true and just not being a doppelganger. Okay, let's move on to our next story here. To this day, this story has puzzled me to no end. I should say from the very beginning that I was really young, but I remember this incident vividly because of how scared I felt, and my parents have confirmed some aspects of this story. So, some background: born and raised in Miami to Honduran parents. So, being Hispanic, spiritualism and religion sort of walk hand in hand for some. I grew up in an apartment building with a huge front yard. My mother would let me play outside with our front door open because she could easily keep an eye on me. And the front yard was completely fenced, so I couldn't wander into the street. So on this particular day, I'm playing outside like any other normal day, and I remember that my mom is inside cooking. Like always, our front door is open, and I know for sure that my mom is inside. But that's when I hear it. Someone is calling out to me. I look around and I don't see anyone. So I continue to play. Then I hear it again. Someone is trying to get my attention. I look towards the end of our front yard, and behind the fence, I see my mom. She's standing there, waving and smiling at me, trying to get me to go to her. I start laughing and running towards her because here I am thinking we're playing a game. As I'm closer to this person, something doesn't feel right. Like, something is telling me not to trust this person. But I'm torn because I'm looking straight at my mother. It's her voice, her face, even the distinct white streak of hair my mom had that contrasts her jet black hair. But still, something doesn't feel right. I ask her what she's doing on the other side of the fence, and she tells me that we have to go, that I need to follow her now. She starts to walk towards the fence, and I begin to follow her, almost entranced. She begins to tell me how much she loves me and that we need to leave together. As we get closer to the fence door, she starts to tell me that I have to open it and walk out to be with her. I don't know what overcame me, but I said no. This upset my mom, and her demeanor changed. She starts to yell that I had to do it, and that we needed to be together now. This scares me and I begin to cry. And then I hear it. My mom's voice coming from my house, asking where I am. I run towards the house, bawling in hysterics. I see my real mother and I hug her and I tell her what happened. I tell her about the lady that looked like her trying to get me to leave. And I just remember my mom hugging me and telling me that it was just in my imagination. Years later, this incident comes up in a conversation I'm having with my parents, and my mom is completely amazed that I remember it all so vividly. She also adds that weird things used to happen in that building, and she suspects that the only reason that thing couldn't get into the property was because of an old Cuban lady that lived next to us. You see, it turns out that she was practicing sanitaria, and she was constantly blessing the grounds. So, honestly, shout out to that lady. Here's where things take a very interesting turn. While me and my mom are reminiscing about what happened, my father is completely silent. And when we finished, he's in shock. He didn't know about this happening to me. And he proceeds to tell us that when he was a child in Honduras, the same thing happened to him. A woman that looked like my grandmother would sometimes go by his house and tell him that they needed to leave to be together. My father's your typical male, everything by the books, no nonsense, and very skeptical about all this stuff. But at this moment, I saw fear in him. And that's the end of the story.
I think it's a cool setup for like a horror film.
That's exactly what my thought
Yeah.
was. This story's so cool to imagine it being like the opening scene for a movie or something. Picturing yourself in that situation where like your mom is waving at you and being like, you have to follow me through this way.
Yeah.
That's terrifying if it's not her.
Oh yeah, big time.
Especially because your mother's like supposed to be like a figure you trust.
Correct.
You know, so it's like someone, and plus the idea of someone like preying on a child. You know.
Yes.
That
Yes.
sort of heightens it. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily believe it, but I'm not gonna say it's not true. I think it's a cool story.
Yeah, I think it's possible that there's just a woman that looked like her mother and was trying to kidnap this child or something. And
Yeah.
and some of the details are a little fuzzy here because the kid was so young.
I think it's I think we all gotta agree that that whole part about like that Cuban lady who just shows up out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
That was just like, oh my goodness, dude. Like, you got to set that up if you want to tell a good story. That's got to come in the beginning so it comes full
Yeah.
circle. You can't just throw that in so that saves the day. You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So Deus Machina at that point instead of having it like written in. Sorry.
So this lady was practicing Santeria or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's, I mean, I don't know a lot, but I think it's like Hispanic in origin, like spiritual kind of stuff.
Okay.
I think.
She was constantly blessing the grounds, they say. So I know what that means. I've never heard of
Yeah.
specifically Santeria, but yeah, then when it comes back around to the father at the end and he's like, the same thing used to happen to me, it's like, okay, well, either you also were almost kidnapped or this is fake because
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is too much of a movie trope.
Yeah, exactly what I thought, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's so crazy. Anthony was talking about this earlier about how when they do this, it sounds so fake.
Yeah, yep. Whenever something comes back around,
Yeah.
probably just writing.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely had the experience as a kid. Maybe like you walk away from your parent in like a store or something, and then you see them in like a different aisle, but it's from behind, and you walk up to them and you expect them to be your parent, but it's like someone else, you know, like.
Right.
I mean, even still, you can even like, cause I've had moments, I'm not sure how vividly I remember, but I know this has happened to me, where like, I've had that happen and I run off, find some random old lady, right? Don't even realize it's not my mom, cause I'm not even looking up, you know, like, so they're just like, oh, you looking for somebody? I'm like, yeah, and they grab me, and then they look for my mom for me, then they show me to my mom, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't even realize I wasn't with my mom. You know what I mean? Like, cause you're a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a motherly figure. She's being really sweet. This is what I'm looking for. My
Yes.
mom is also
Yeah.
really tall. I just want to throw that out there.
She was.
She's my height, and right now I'm 6'1", so.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I can't imagine like just like,
Yeah.
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 There was God, I must have been like really young, like 3 or 4 or something. I still remember this because it like spooked me. So it wasn't a scary thing, but we were at some like family event when I was young, and like, you know, when you're a kid and you walk up to your mom like because you want her to like pick you up or whatever, so like you put your arms up, right? Well, I walked up to a woman who I thought was my mom, but it turned out it was like one of my like aunts. You know, and I did that, and then she was like, "Oh, okay, like I'll pick you up," you know. And then, but then I saw her face, and I was like, because like I was like, "Oh, you're not my mom," like
Right.
after she was already holding me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So maybe it was going down that path.
It's possible.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
funny as hell.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I was real young.
Yeah, of course. Imagine you doing that today.
I did that like yesterday. Yeah.
Mom picked me up. You're not my mom. It sounds like something out of a Smosh video.
Yeah.
Like Ian being like, "You're not my mom."
Oh yeah, no, it's all out of the Smosh video, especially because like he says all of that and you think it's like the past. And you go, so wait, when did that happen? He's like, oh, like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Such a Smosh video, dude. That's so true.
100%. This kind of, I don't have a story like what you two just shared, but one time I was at the train station and some guy looked at me and he was like, "Joe?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, it's been so long. How are you?" I'm like, "I'm really good, man. How are you?" He's like, "Oh, man." And I just kept walking, right? And I made that guy's day. He was like, "I can't believe I just saw Joe." And I'm like, I am not who that guy thinks he is. So this is either a doppelganger situation where I have one and he thinks that I look like someone else, or
You created his doppelganger situation.
yeah, because
Yeah.
he texted
He's going
Joe.
to text Joe.
He texted Joe later that day, like, "Dude, really good to see you today. Let's catch up sometime." And Joe's like, "I have no idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I wasn't at the train station."
Yeah, you created it.
He later found out that Joe died like a month before. And he's like, I saw Joe's ghost at the train station.
Wow,
I
that's
think
crazy.
this is how so many horror stories start. I think, like all the stories you get on Reddit, it's just someone confusing someone for something else.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I am someone else's doppelganger story here. Are we ready to move into a little mini game?
Is this like a Mario Party minigame?
Kinda, except the fun part is that I actually get to play along today because Austin has prepared today's mini game, so I'm gonna let you take it away. Start!
Sorry, I had to do that because you said Mario Kart.
No,
Or
that
Mario
was good,
Kart.
that was good.
I thought it was pretty good, honestly, personally. Today's game, that's why I take out my phone. Don't worry, I'm not texting anybody. We're going to play a doppelganger game, okay? I'm going to play a soundbite on my phone, and you have to tell me if it is an impression of somebody or if it is the real person. I will even tell you the person they are trying or they are, and you have to tell me if it really is them. This way
Okay.
people know who we're talking about, okay? I have a few. I think it's 7, but I don't want to. I don't know for sure. But let me just get my my album up. So this is going to be the first one. It is Samuel L. Jackson. Okay.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
That sounds pretty legit to me.
Yeah, that sounds legit to me too. I don't think this is a doppelganger or an impressionist.
I think if that is an impression, it's a really good one.
Yeah.
So we're going real thing.
I'm going
Yeah.
real.
That was real.
Yeah,
That
Okay,
one was
okay.
real. 1 point across the board. Okay, 1 point across the board. This next one is going to be Ariana Grande.
Oh.
The initial singing I wanted to say was her, was real Ariana. But I know my Ariana. And it's the little giggle at the end that I think she don't giggle like that. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh,
Not anymore. She used to giggle like that on Victorious, but she doesn't giggle like that today, and she was singing one of her post-Victorious songs in that clip. Also, why would she just be giggling at the end of singing that, right? This is...
It's good.
I don't think that this is Ariana. I know my Ariana Grande.
He's like Batman.
You can agree with me, or you could go.
Anthony knows the Ariana Grande lore.
He does.
I know Ariana Grande.
Yeah. See, at first I was thinking like, oh, that's not her. And then I was like, yeah, maybe it is. And then I'm just a total 50-50 split on this one. I do not know her voice well enough to say. So I'm just gonna follow Anthony. Because
Okay.
Anthony, it seems like he would know.
We can be a team, you know.
Yeah.
You guys would be correct.
All
That
right.
was fake an impression.
All right.
This next one, LeBron James.
I know we got a lot of Cowboy fans in America. I'm not one of them. I'm going with the Niners. LeBron James.
Does LeBron say
Does
his
he say
name
his own name like that?
It's up to you guys to figure out.
All right.
I don't think he would. I don't know his voice that well, though.
It sounded pretty close to his voice. Why would he say his name like that?
Right.
That's the question at the end of the
Right,
clip, right?
right.
Like, it sounds like if someone were doing an impression, they would, you know.
All right. Well, wait. Counterpoint, right? DJ Khaled.
Okay, but DJ Khaled's different.
It's Britney, right? Like, there are people who say their own name, and I've heard the LeBron James thing before,
Yeah.
which maybe people do that because he does that.
Or maybe he was referencing it. Even if someone else started it. I don't know who started it.
I think
But,
a little kid started it.
but maybe he was referencing it. I'm gonna say it's real.
I'm saying we're a team here. I'm gonna lock it in with Feeney because I don't know his voice well enough.
It is real.
Nice.
wow.
There we
I
go.
thought I would trick you guys with him saying LeBron James at the end. I was like, they're never gonna believe this is actually him.
And it definitely almost got me. Because
Yeah.
I think if you didn't say yes, I would have said no.
This next one is Kendrick Lamar.
I am reincarnated. I'm a stargazing. Like
This is not Kendrick. This is not Kendrick Lamar. I knew it as soon as I heard it with the music. I was like, that is
Yeah, I was
not
gonna-
K-Dot.
So we're saying no on Kendrick?
0%.
Okay, because Kendrick's voice is so distinct.
yeah.
I don't even listen to, but I know his voice.
It is not Kendrick.
Okay, good. We're 4 for 4 here.
Yes, we are.
There was no shot. That was Kendrick.
This next one is Peter Griffin.
You're saying this is how Peter Griffin is.
So what you're saying is it Seth MacFarlane doing the voice?
exactly. Yes.
Right. No. It's
Is this really Peter Griffin?
I don't think that's Seth MacFarlane doing that voice, but maybe it's the real life Peter Griffin, like the guy who actually looks like Peter Griffin in real
Oh my
life.
God. See, yeah, because the thing is, I think that Peter Griffin is one of those voices that a lot of impressionists are able to do really well, and they all love doing Peter Griffin because it's a funny voice, it's silly. I would be willing to bet that it was easy for you to scavenge the internet and find an impression of it. Also, the quality of it just sounded like someone doing a prank call as Peter Griffin.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Rather than, unless that's the point of it, it was Seth MacFarlane calling a fan as Peter Griffin, which is really possible now that I think about it.
It is possible, but I'm saying it's not Seth MacFarlane saying that.
All right, we're gonna go no.
It is not Seth MacFarlane.
Nice.
It is also not the real Peter Griffin, who I did try to get. But I found this random guy to have a better voice. I was like, dude, this is the guy I used. This person is Ryan Feeney.
What's up? Name's Feeney.
This one's real.
I like mustard.
Mustard.
Shoutouts to the Raptors.
No,
That one's real. I don't even need to debate that. That one's real.
No.
I'm locking it in.
Here's the thing that you don't know about Euphenie that I know. You hate mustard.
That actually is.
I know you hate it because
Yeah.
I made you eat it for a video once, and you were like, "Oh my God, I hate mustard. I don't even want to do this." And I was like, "You don't have to eat it." And you were like, "I do. I need to commit to the scene." So, beyond the fact that also it was very clearly Austin's voice.
well, I have an extended version. I don't know if we know it was me. Let's see. I might have another version you guys will listen to.
Okay.
What's up, man? Name's Feeney. How you doing? I'm a teacher. Can I say that?
So yeah, that probably was Feeney.
You just scrubbed the audio from when I was introducing myself at the beginning of the episode here.
Yeah. Yep. Do you remember recording this by any chance?
I said that exact thing word for word.
You did.
Yes.
All right. You want to lock in that it was you then?
That is 100% me.
Okay.
Final answer.
We're gonna lock in that this is really Feeney.
No deal.
It was Feeney. It was in fact Feeney.
We got
It
him
was-
all
it was
right.
Feeney.
There we
It
go.
was Feeney, everybody.
There it is. There's Feeney.
Great.
You have like a loophole where you like you legally changed your last name to Phoebe, so like you can't say that.
Oh, that's so funny.
I just want to say thank you for playing along.
Are we ready to move into our final story here?
Yeesh.
All right, next story. This happened back in the summer of 2015 when I was serving in the U.S. Army Reserves. I was stationed in southern Alabama in a transportation company. Sometimes my girlfriends would come up with me on drill weekends and crash at a friend of hers apartment, which is where the incident took place. This particular weekend, we were in a large convoy in the middle of nowhere, on some back road out in the sticks, well over 100 miles from the city. That was when I got the most confusing, bizarre, and downright creepy phone call of my young life. She was in utter hysterics. She was crying and screaming, wondering why I would frighten her so badly, and what was my problem, asking me how I even pulled it off. After I finally was able to calm her down, this is the story that she relayed to me. Sometime that afternoon, her friend was at work and she was at the apartment by herself. Suddenly, there was a loud bang on the door. Not a knock, several loud, violent bangs. After looking through the peephole, she saw me, but there was something off. She says I was wearing my army uniform. It looked like me, but I had this very angry, aggravated look on my face. She opened up the door, wondering why I was home so early, and apparently without saying a word, I angrily blew past her, shoulder checking her into the wall, and quickly walked down the hall, taking a left into the bedroom, slamming the door behind me so hard, the whole place shook. She was very alarmed and confused about why I was home so early and in such an agitated state. I'm not a violent guy at all. On top of that, if something did happen to set me off, she would have been the first to hear about it. So she's walking behind me trying to get some information out of me, and she opens the bedroom door behind me. She sees the closet door slam shut. She proceeds to run over to see what I was doing in her friend's closet, and she claims that's when she opened the door and it was completely empty. That was when she had a panic attack and called me. Imagine my shock and confusion hearing that story, knowing I was well over 100 miles away at the time. She finally believed me after I sent her a photo with my current GPS location, which only served to freak her out more. I thought that there must be some kind of rational explanation for what she saw. Over the years since that happened, I came to learn about doppelgangers. I don't know what they mean, what they represent, or why they come around. All I know is that they're creepy, and a girl I dated for several years came face to face with mine and put the fear of God into this poor girl. Take from this story what you will, and honestly, I don't care if anyone believes it or not. I just have to get it off my chest. And that's the end of the story.
This is the prequel to the Chronicles of Narnia. He walked into his closet and then he disappeared. And it wasn't a doppelganger. It was, aren't there like elves and stuff in Narnia?
Yeah. I mean, it was Aslan himself.
Yeah. So that's all it was. I think it's so difficult to like rationalize this one because the guy supposedly disappeared into the closet. I don't know what to say about that.
I've seen this happen before on Reddit.
Okay.
Where someone is lying to their partner, they're gaslighting her so hard that they go out of their way to make a post online to be like, this is what happened, and my, and like, I'm gonna try and make my girlfriend believe it, so I'm gonna tell my side, my lie inside of the story. This is just a really angry dude who did shoulder check his girlfriend into the wall and is trying to pretend like he didn't. And I don't know about necessarily disappearing into the closet, but there are other explanations for how this guy could have left. And she just didn't realize it, or he was hiding in there, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And there's also ways to like fake GPS locations and send locations to people. I think that this guy was maybe a little bit mean to his girlfriend and realized he messed up and said, wait a second. I'm gonna tell her it's a doppelganger. And it wasn't me, it was my evil twin. And she'll believe me if I post about it online.
He's right. He's definitely right.
My God.
This is what I think is happening here. I've seen this happen before. Not about doppelgangers necessarily, but about people like going online and being like, and this is why she thinks I did this thing, but this is why I didn't do it. And she'll believe me because now I'm making it public online.
In the story, does she see him go into the closet?
She sees the closet door shut.
Yeah, I think she says that she sees the closet door shut.
I like your idea. So let's say that's true, right? I was gonna say he jumped out the window or something like
That's
in
honestly,
the bedroom.
that's if they're on like an apartment building, just say they're floor 1, right? That's really possible.
Yeah. He was mad that he left something at home. He knew that whatever he was missing, maybe it was his wallet, who knows, or keys or whatever, was in the jacket pocket of a jacket that he had in his closet.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this
right?
is, yes.
And then he opened the closet, grabbed what he needed. His girlfriend is still in a daze, like in the entrance of the apartment, right? So then she follows him, but as she's following him, he's already like on his way out. But at this point, he's cooled down a little bit, and he's like, "Oh man, like what did I just do to my? Like you said, like what did I just do to my girlfriend? Like how am I gonna get out of this, right?" So he's like, "Where's my exit point? My only exit is the window. All right, I'm gonna slam the door, and then jump out the window, and hopefully she doesn't see, or
Yes.
And he's like, "Oh well, if she questions like why there was activity at the window, I'll say that it was the wind or something."
Yeah. I mean, like, he does say, right? I angrily blew past her, shoulder checking her into the wall, quickly walked down the hall, taking left into the bedroom, slamming the door behind me so hard that the place shook, right? So he sprinted past her, slammed the door shut. By the time that she got into the room and he was gone, right, he very well could have exited some other way.
Yeah.
Right.
She didn't see everything. He, like, sprinted away and closed the door.
Does he say I did? Or she says I did?
He's saying that, he's saying I as in her version of the story.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, based on that, like, I feel like if I'm trying to prove or if I'm not trying to prove my innocence, I'm like, or if I'm not guilty, I'm not wording it like that. I'm like, she's claiming the doppelganger did this. Instead of saying, yeah, she's claiming I did this, but it was really the doppelganger. It's like, why are you saying I? Like, I did this. You just said I did this. It's like a Freudian slip to me.
I think that you're onto something here.
I think it's also a little bit sus that this is a story that happened to someone else and not him.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear her side of the story here.
Yeah, like he wasn't the one that had this doppelganger experience.
Right.
It was a doppelganger of him someone else saw. So I think your explanation is plausible.
I thought it was a banger, honestly.
Yeah.
Over the years, I came to learn about doppelgangers. I didn't know about them at the time, but I do now.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's
thinking
like,
too.
no, you definitely, you knew about it. You know what I mean?
It was like I need to find something to cover this up. Over the years, I learned I could cover it up with this.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and if I post about it online, my girlfriend will finally believe me.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I think this guy had a little outburst and knew he messed up and tried to cover it up. Could I be completely off? Of course. I'm not saying that what I just said is factual.
But there's no way you're further off than his story. It involves an inanimate fake creature.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
Yeah, mine is definitely more plausible.
Yours doesn't have a doppelganger.
We're trying to think of real explanations for these. Yeah, how come there's never any like good doppelgangers?
Yeah,
like my doppelganger like made a donation to charity. Right?
In my name.
Right?
Like everybody thinks I did it.
It's always like the doppelganger's always evil, not like doppelganger's nice.
That's so funny. Okay, before we wrap up, does anyone have any advice for our viewers?
Don't follow around a woman who claims to be your mom.
Who claims to be? Yeah, I would say that's probably pretty good advice.
Yeah, ask her for ID. Yeah, be like, Mom, I need to see some ID right now.
If you think someone's a doppelganger, it could just be someone else, because we know Anthony is a doppelganger in somebody else's story now.
Yeah, that's true.
Just be someone else.
My advice is if you see a man in a cowboy hat playing Frogger, run. Run.
Also,
This one's free on the house.
If you do something bad, blame it on your doppelganger.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. You can get out of anything if you say, I have a clone.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We'll see you guys again soon. Let us know what other topics you want to see or hear. If you're listening to the audio-only version, good job.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Congratulations. And we will see you guys again very soon with a brand new episode. Bye, guys.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please click like, leave a comment down below letting us know what you thought. Click subscribe and hit that bell to get notified when we upload, and then steal money out of your parents' wallet.
That was my exact intro that I used to do.
Yeah.
And also more advice. Steal money from your parents' wallet.
No, of course.
Absolutely.